Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about a very interesting topic which is task-based language teaching or TBLT. Before we are going to the material, let me introduce about my group members. There is me, Alia Fauzia, with student number 157, and the next is Anggi Savitri with student number 141, and the next is Sanina Denti with student number 146. Okay, I will start first by explaining about the definition and background of TBLT. Task TBLT or task-based language teaching is a teaching approach that focuses on using real-life tasks as a main part of the learning process. This method, in this method, students learn the language by doing meaningful activities such as making plans, problem solving, and having conversation. Through this process, students develop their language naturally while communicating to achieve a specific goals. This idea of the task-based language teaching came from the communicative language teaching approach or CLT, which started in the 1970s. At the time, teachers realized that language learning became more effective when students use the language for real communication, not only memorizing grammar rules. And later, in the 1980s and 1990s, researchers such as Prabhu, Nunans, and Ellis developed the concept of TBLT further. They believed that language is best learned when learners focus on completing meaningful tasks, just like in real life situations. Therefore, the background of TBLT shows a shift from traditional grammar-based teaching to a more communicative and practical of a learning language.
This slide is called of TPLT. 1. An approach based on the use of tasks for the planning of material and instruction of language teaching. 2. Related to communicative language teaching. And 3. Focus on the assess by asking to do meaningful activities or tasks. And the next slide is characteristic of TPLT. 1. Tasks ultimately point learners beyond the forms of language alone to real-world contexts. 2. Tasks specifically contribute to the communicative goal of learners. 3. Their elements are careful design and not simply haphazardly or idiosyncratically thrown together. 4. Their objectives are well specified so that you can, at some later point, accurately determine the success of one task over another. And the last, task engage learners at some level in genuine problem-solving activity. TBLT has two theories. This is one, interaction hypothesis. Long proposed that interaction facilitates language acquisition because it allows learners to receive comprehensible input and produce output in a meaningful context. 2. Focus on form. Long emphasized the importance of drawing learners' attention to linguistic elements as they arise incidentally in relation with overriding focus is on meaning or communication.
And next is methods. 1. Pretest puzzle. Teachers introduce the topic and test, providing essential background information. Text preparation. Students plan how they will tackle the text, often involving brainstorming or strategy discussion. 2. Test puzzle. Text execution. Students perform the test, working individually or in groups using the target language to achieve the test objective. Monitoring. The teachers monitor and provide assistance as needed without interrupting the flow of communication. Entry post-test fase. Test evaluation. Students reflect on their performance, discuss what they have learned, and receive feedback. Focus on form. The teachers highlight and correct specific language forms that were problematic during the test. And next is advantage and disadvantage. Advantage for number one is focus on communication. Two, student-centered learning. Three, improve fluency and confidence. Four, integrates all four skill. Five, motivating and engaging. Six, encourages collaboration. And seven, language in context. For disadvantage, one is less emphasis on accuracy. Two, challenging for low-level learner. Three, requires skilled teacher. Four, difficult to assess. Five, time consuming. And six, not suitable for all contexts.
For the, for the conclusion, task-based language teaching or TBLT is a learner-centered approach that builds language skill through real-life tasks. It focuses on using English for communication rather than just studying grammar. By following the pre-test, test, and post-test stages, students practice authentic language, solve problems, and reflect on their learning to improve fluency and accuracy. Maybe that's all for our presentation about the task-based language teaching or TBLT. Thank you for your attention and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.